Hey guys, it's Ashley, and today I'm going to be talking about the books I read in February and the books I want to read in March. So let's get started. I think that was like the quickest intro that I have ever done, and I am very proud of myself for that. So this wrap-up and TBR is pretty late. Sorry. The last time I filmed, I completely forgot to film this, so this is impromptu filming right now. So the first book that I read in the month of February was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. 5 stars. I think you guys know my feelings on this book already, and if you don't, I have a full book talk that I will leave linked down below where you guys can check out all of my thoughts. It has a decent non-spoiler section, so if you don't know any about what this book is about, you can definitely watch the first part of that and you'll be set to go. Basically, this follows Natasha, whose family is about to be deported back to Jamaica, and Daniel, who is about to go to his Yale interview. They meet on this day and their worlds just collide, and it's an explosive, amazing, adorable story, and you guys need to read it. So the next book that I read in February was An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. So many people have been telling me to read this book. Every time I put it in a TBR, everybody's like, oh my god, it was my favorite book. Oh my god, you have to read it. Oh my god, Ashley, read it. And I finally did. I actually gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I don't know what it was. I think it was just difficult for me to get into and understand in the beginning, but once we got to Blackcliff, I was like, okay, the story's great, let's just get to the end because I want to know what's gonna happen. Another thing that stopped me from giving it a full 5 stars was that I wanted more of like the world. I don't know, the entire time, and I understand where we were in the story, that's why we didn't get as much of the world as I wanted, but the entire time it was very, very little of like the scholar section and mostly just inside of the walls of Blackcliff, and we got little mentions of outside. But I'm really excited for the next one because I know based on the ending of this one that we're gonna get a lot more of that, so I am very, very excited. If some of you don't know what this book is about, it's kind of like a high fantasy. It's about this girl Laya, whose family is pretty much killed and her brother is taken prisoner, and to break him out she joins like the secret underground defense club. I forgot what they were called, but she joins up with them and she's put as a slave in the big military academy called Blackcliff for the commander, I think it is. It's been about like a month since I read this. I don't remember all of the details. I need to read the next book so I like have it secured in my mind. And then we follow also Elias, who is a student at Blackcliff Academy, and they kind of like, things happen. And it's amazing, and it's great. There's a lot, though, of violence in this. I hadn't been expecting as much violence as there was in this. There's a lot of not really torture, but like things that if I had to succumb, it would be torture to me. So, I mean, take that as you will. But just if you're kind of wary about that, then I probably wouldn't go into this book right now. And the last book that I read in February was City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. We actually just had our live show for our Mortal Instruments read-along on March 8th that night, so I will leave the link to that down below along with our announcement video for our read-along, just in case any of you guys are still wondering what that is. I gave it 5 stars, obviously. I really enjoyed it the second time around that I read it. I wasn't crazy about it the first time. It wasn't my favorite, but I definitely liked it a lot more this time, and I'll have more thoughts about that in my top 5 favorite scenes and moments from City of Ashes. And whenever that goes up, I don't know if it's going to be before or after this, I will leave that link down below too. So now we can get on to my March TBR. So since I'm doing this and I'm filming it like basically in the beginning of March, I've already read one of these books, and the one book that I have already actually read was Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertelli. I know that her new book, The Upside of Unrequited, is coming out in April, and so I wanted to read this to kind of get an idea of what her writing style and what her stories are like, and holy crap, I loved this so much. It was almost like a one-sitting read for me. I think I read the first 40 pages one day, and then I read the rest of the book in like a full day. Oh my god. I can't explain to you guys how adorable this book is. It is so, so cute. I actually have a full book talk already filmed for that, so I won't give too much away for what I want to say about this, but I'll just tell you guys what it's about. It's basically about this kid in high school. His name is Simon Spear, and he's basically still like in the closet. He has been having these secret chats with this guy whose code name is Blue, and so he doesn't know who this boy is, and the boy who he's emailing doesn't know who he is, but they're having like this really great connection. And so one day logs into the school's computers to use his email and respond back and accidentally forgets to log out, and this one kid uses the emails to start blackmailing him. So it's it doesn't sound like it's a fun story, but it's really funny and it's really adorable, and Becky Albertelli's writing style is absolutely, I love it. I really love it. If you haven't picked this one up yet, I highly recommend. The next book that I actually wanted to read, I was trying to decide what I wanted to read, and I looked at my shelf and my eyes immediately went to this one because the last book in the trilogy just came out, and I have always wanted to read the series, and so I figured now would be as good a time as ever. And that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is like an adult fantasy story, but I'm not 100% sure why it's categorized as adult, because the characters are really only 19 and like 20, 21. I would probably call it new adult, if anything. If we're going off just the age of the characters, I would call it new adult. I'm actually almost halfway through this, and it is really freaking good. If you don't know what this is about, it's basically this world where there are these 4 Londons. So there's Grey London, White London, Red London, and Black London. And this guy, our main character named Kel, he is an Antari, which means he has the ability to travel between these Londons. We also follow a character named Delilah Bard, and she is a thief and a pickpocket, and so one day she ends up taking something very valuable from Kel, and they are kind of going on this journey to try to, you know, figure out what it is, but also how to stop things that are happening from happening and travel across the Londons, I'm assuming. I'm only like a third of the way through, so I'm not 100% sure yet, but that's the whole gist of it. And the magic system is incredible. I'm like still reeling from trying to figure it out, and just the world itself is really, really cool. Personally, I like this better than I liked This Savage Song, which is one of Victoria Schwab's like actual YA books. So I'm really excited to continue this. And so I know I told you guys on Twitter, if you were following me then, that I wanted to make March my month of Mass, as in like Sarah J. Maas, and just finish her books. That's not happening as of now. I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you guys. I'm sorry. Her books are just so big and so dense and full of like lots of things that I can't read one and then immediately after read the other. So that's why this buddy read with me and Keely over at, you know, Mermaid Keely, that I've been buddy reading this series with, Throne of Glass, that's why it's been taking so long. I'll read Throne of Glass and then 2 months later I'll read Crown of Midnight. I figure now is about as good a time as ever to finally get to Air of Fire. But this is even an iffy this month. I'm not 100% sure. I will definitely attempt to read it after I read A Darker Shade of Magic, but whether I actually get through all of it this month is a complete mystery to me, and we will see. And the final book that I have to get to this month is City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. Like I said in the beginning, part of our TMI read-along, we're reading 1 book a month and then doing a live show at the end of every month. So we are reading City of Glass in March, and our live show will be in the beginning of April, and I'll also put up an announcement video when that live show is, you know, like about a week before the actual live show. I'm really excited to reread this book, especially because this is where the series starts really taking off. This is where we travel to Idris and we meet Alicante and we get to see the world of these Shadowhunters like up close and personal in actual Shadowhunter territory. And also, Sebastian is introduced, and I love Sebastian, so I'm very excited about this. And so those are all of the books that I have read in February and I'm planning to read in March. Let me know if you guys have read any of these and have any thoughts about them. You guys can also let me know what books you are planning to read in March, because I would really love to know as well. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye!